सत्यपरं त्रिसत्यं सत्यस्य योनिं निहितं च सत्ये सत्यस्य सत्यं भूतसत्यनेत्रं सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नाः वाणी गुणानुकथने श्रवणो कथायां हस्तौ च कर्मसु मनस्तव पादयोर्नः स्मृत्यां शिरस्तव निवास जगत्प्रणामे दृष्टिस्ततां दर्शनेस्तु भवत्तनूनाम् नमो भगवते तस्मै कृष्णायाद्भुतकर्मणे रूपनामविभेदेन जगत्क्रीडति यो यतः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Thank you. I now request our Renu Kumari ma'am and Deepika ma'am to join us on stage too. You're next. Thank you, dignitaries. I now invite Paramshri Mishra to deliver the welcome address.
Greetings and good morning to this esteemed gathering. It is my pleasure and pride to welcome you all to this culmination of Innovation and Prosperity, a one-day international seminar, Hallway Biz, on navigating the future emerging trends in business and global dynamics, BBA's hallmark seminar event. I, Paramshri Mishra, final year student and President of Department of Business Administration, take this opportunity to welcome our respected keynote speaker, Mr. S. Bhanukumar sir. We welcome you, sir. I extend my warm welcome to our beloved principal, Captain Dr. S. Santosh Babu sir, to this seminar. We welcome you, sir. I am grateful. I also welcome our respected head of department, Dr. N. Sarulta ma'am, for her continuous support in making this event a reality. Welcome, ma'am. Accordingly, welcome the versatile and visionary faculty coordinators, Professor Renu Kumari ma'am and Dr. Deepika ma'am, for their relentless efforts towards this event. Welcome, dear teachers. I now respect our respected faculties of the Department of Business Administration, our beacon of knowledge and guidance. Welcome, you dear teachers. We extend a warm welcome to John sir and Kumaran sir, our technical team. Thank you for your assistance, dear sirs. I then welcome our esteemed audience for their involvement and patience, the zeal on which this event stands on. Welcome, dear audience, and I also proceed to welcome the event volunteers for the fruition of their efforts. I gladly welcome all of you. Enjoy the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Baru. I now invite our principal, Captain Dr. S. Santosh Babu sir, to address the gathering.
Jai Sri Krishna. Very warm good morning to all. I am very happy to be with you for this one-day international seminar on navigating the future emerging trends in business and global dynamics. This is the first seminar conducted by BBA department collaborating with INTI, International University. Recently we had an MOU with International University, INTI, and we are collaborated with us, and today we are having this particular international conference and seminar for which we have a Dr. Shamsul Nair. Sir, he was telling that the present scenario where we have to take both the teachers and the students outside Tamil Nadu, outside the country, and they should have an exposure for that, and the government also is ready to free giving permission. We have to get permission from the government. The government of Tamil Nadu also is for that, so that they are also ready to approve our content, what we are doing outside the country also. So this is the present trend is going at the government of Tamil Nadu level for the students' benefits. But as Dwarakadas Gorandas Vaishnava College, we are happy that we are on in that line already. 2 years before itself, we started doing it. We have a tie-up with INTI University, not only with INTI University, and also with University at Singapore, Nanyang University, and even we are trying for universities at Japan, where we have a very good collaboration with Japan. Yesterday also our placement officer went for Consulate General farewell function at Savera, where I could not able to go there because of my work at the DC office. So that's why we are planning in such a way that we have to give more exposure to the students beyond the class hours. So that is the main purpose of our education at Dwarakadas Gorandas Vaishnava College for the past 3 years, after myself taking as a principal of this greatest institution. So in this line, we have this international conference where we are going to do that. And also we are on NIRF, where you will be getting, in every meeting I am telling that Jaideep will tell that, see, principal is going to talk about NIRF. Here also I am going to open my mouth on NIRF. We are in NIRF 100 to 150. We want to come down to 100. We should be within 100. For that, perception is important. Perception from the students, perception from the faculty, perception from the alumni, perception from the recruitment company is there. Last year we took only 15. This year we are planning to score more on that. So please, you should know about what is NIRF, National Institutional Ranking Framework. Now we are not talking about QS ranking. QS ranking, even IIT is not with its 200. So we are talking only about our national level, we should be within 100. For that, the students should get more aware. If they get any communication, if there's any message, don't keep like this. You have to respond. You have to respond positively. If you have negative things, you come to me. So this is the awareness I want to create. And also yesterday, I'm very happy to note that we have donated 2,036 units of blood in a single camp. Apart from that, more than 700 units have been donated whenever the necessity comes. So this is the status of Dwarakadas Gorandas Vaishnava College in the social aspects. So I'm very happy to note that. I'm like to congratulate, and also I like to thank all the students community of Dwarakadas Gorandas Vaishnava College. Almost 2036 is nothing but it will be around 25% of the students. But some people, almost rejection is there. I'm very sad to note that there is a rejection in blood donation because of underweight, because of anemia, like that, especially in girl students. So we have to have a nutrition food hereafter. If you say that I have donated the blood means you can tell to others, I am very fit. So that is the message I want to tell to you. So donation of blood is nothing but you are checking your fitness. So I don't want to divert the international conference. Let us go for the new trend in business, whether it is digital marketing or whether it is online marketing or whether it may face-to-face marketing. Lot of things are coming up. So you will be having a lot of deliberation. We have a good list of speakers here. They are going to talk to you. Be attentive. This day is a day for you for getting a knowledge. With these few words, once again, I'd like to congratulate the whole department for having this program conducting today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Our respected secretary, Shri Ashok Kumar Mundra, sir, sends his best wishes and regards to the event. I now invite our dear principal, Captain Dr. S. Santosh Babu sir, to felicitate our guest speaker, Dr. Bhanukumar sir. Thank you, sir. I request the head of the department BBA, Dr. N. Sarlata ma'am, to felicitate our principal, Captain Dr. S. Santosh Babu sir. Thank you, ma'am. I now request the faculties, Renukumari ma'am and Dr. Deepika ma'am, to felicitate our beloved mentor, Professor J.P. Jayadeep sir, HOD, PG and Research Department of Economics. Thank you, teachers. I now request the dignitaries on the dais to unveil the following 3 publications by the BBA department. I request the dignitaries Shri Ma'am to join us for the unveiling. We also request the dignitaries to present to the audience the report on Startup to Scale Up, the department's brainchild on innovation. I invite our faculty members, Mahalakshmi ma'am, Rajeshwari ma'am, and Dr. S. Sankar sir to join us for the unveiling. Next, I request the dignitaries to also present Sankalam, a collection of professional family business management projects by the BBA students guided by our faculty members to the audience. I now invite our faculties, Professor M. Kavita ma'am, Mr. S. Gunalan sir, and Dr. Divya Balaji ma'am to join us for the unveiling.
Before we proceed, I request the BBA team of faculties and staff for a group photo on the stage with the dignitaries on the dais.
For any activities, the present trend is documentation. Always the BBA is documenting all work they have done. Today you have released 3 documentation like entrepreneur, what are the case studies you have done. I like to talk about the case studies. Once I went to Christ University for a conference with my colleagues, and I saw a separate section called as case studies. What are the students' case studies that was deposited and that was kept in a separate room? So hereafter, I think BBA can do what are the case studies they have done. They can have a depository in the department itself. It is not like a book, whatever the work like objectives and your literature, then what work done, findings. And they are putting it as single case study as a one volume. And whenever the students want to go through the volumes, they can go through the volumes and they can do another case study based a case study. So case studies is a present trend, is very important. So I'm happy to note that BBA department have taken an initiative for doing this. For the past 2-3 years, they are doing it. Thank you very much.
I request the BBA team, faculties and staff to join us on And I also request all the student organizers and volunteers, the team, to join us on the stage for a group photo. Student volunteers, please come on stage, everyone. Student volunteers, please come on stage. Hey boys, bye.
Proceeding towards addresses by our guest speaker, without much ado, I would like to introduce our inaugural speaker for today, Dr. Samshul Nahar Abdullah. Dr. Samshul Nahar Abdullah sir is an accomplished academic professional with a distinguished career as a professor of accounting, supported by extensive experience in academic administration. His academic journey includes the attainment of a PhD in accounting, as well as professional qualifications that include being a fellow member of CPA Australia, a CMA of ICMA Australia, and a chartered accountant with the Malaysian Institute of Accountants. Sir's robust background in higher education equips him with the ability to excel in both traditional and e-learning environments, showcasing his adaptability to various pedagogical methods. He possesses extensive expertise across a wide range of subjects, including corporate governance, business planning, and the art of effective lecturing techniques. Over the course of his career, he has had the privilege of serving various universities spanning public and private institutions, domestic and international universities, and both conventional and online platforms. In terms of research, Sir has successfully secured grants amounting to 1 million Malaysian ringgits from various organizations, and his works have been extensively published in reputable, peer-reviewed index journals. His administrative experience is equally rich, having held pivotal positions such as Head of Department, Deputy Dean, Dean of Business Schools, and Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs. Throughout his educational journey, Sir has consistently demonstrated academic excellence while forging a highly successful professional trajectory. Sir has also gained recognition as Stanford University's world's top 2% scientist across 22 scientific fields and 176 subfields. Of all scientists, a prestigious accolade that underscores the depth of his contributions to the field of academia. I would like the team to display his message for us.
Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Shamsun Abdullah, a professor of accounting from INTI International University, Malaysia. I'm honored to be given the opportunity to deliver an inaugural speech at the international seminar, Navigating the Future Emerging Trends in Business and Global Dynamics. I wish to thank DDGDV and also INTI International University for inviting me to deliver this inaugural speech, and also for organizing such a successful event. Let us give them a big round of applause. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, keeping abreast of business management trends is imperative for maintaining competitiveness and relevance in today's rapidly evolving landscape. As businesses adapt to the ever-changing global scene, navigating the future demands a deep understanding of emerging trends and their operational implications. Success in our interconnected world requires a holistic approach that considers both local dynamics and global shift. In this address, I will highlight the key trends shaping contemporary business management and offer insights on how companies can adapt and thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently witnessing a transformative wave in modern company management driven by technological discoveries. Innovations such as artificial intelligence or AI, blockchain technology, and automation are fundamentally reshaping business operations. Blockchain enhances trust and transparency in transactions, while AI facilitates informed decision making. Automation streamlines operations, enhancing efficiency and reducing errors. For managers aiming to gain a competitive advantage in today's dynamic and increasingly digitalized corporate landscape, adopting these technologies is not merely an option but a strategic necessity. Embracing and leveraging emerging technologies such as AI, blockchain, Internet of Things, IoT, and data analytics can fuel innovation, enhance efficiency, and empower organizations to streamline operations, elevate customer experiences, and gain a competitive advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, now let us shift our focus from technological advancements to the significant role of remote work and the rise of virtual teams in modern business administration. The surge in remote labor has profoundly influenced business operations, presenting both challenges and opportunities. Effectively managing virtual teams requires adept handling of geographical barriers and leveraging diverse talents dispersed across locations. Despite these challenges, there are tangible benefits, including increased flexibility and access to a global talent pool. Managers must devise and implement solutions that facilitate efficient remote team management in this dynamic landscape, fostering productivity, team cohesion, and motivation while remaining vigilant to broader technological and managerial trends for comprehensive organizational success. We also witnessed that consumers and investors increasingly prioritize environmental, social, and governance or ESG factors and ethical leadership in decision making. Sustainability and ethics are evolving into fundamental pillars of organizational performance and amid structural and technological shift. Beyond meeting moral imperative, ethical leadership and responsible business practices resonate with today's meticulous stakeholders and customers, fostering long-term trust and sustainable growth. A growing number of businesses leading in sustainable management serve as examples of this paradigm shift. demonstrating that ethics and sustainability are not just moral imperative but strategic enablers of success. As environmental concerns mount and societal expectations evolve, companies must embrace sustainability principles into their core operations. Ladies and gentlemen, data-driven decision-making is another pivotal aspect of modern corporate management. The impact of data analytics and big data on management practices cannot be overstated. These tools enable businesses to derive valuable insights from vast data sets, facilitating better informed decision-making. Data-driven decision-making has proven crucial in streamlining processes, optimizing resource allocation, and enhancing consumer experiences, underscoring its transformative potential. Managers must promote data literacy and cultivate a culture that values data-driven insights to harness their power effectively. Success in the dynamic realm of business management hinges not only on data collection but also on adept interpretation to propel organizations toward heightened effectiveness and competitiveness. Accelerating digital transformation initiatives to streamline processes will enhance customer experiences and unlock new revenue streams. Embracing digitalization across all facets of business operations is no longer optional but key to long-term success. The rapid and unprecedented changes occurring in the business environment necessitate that companies actively encourage their employees to be adaptable and consistently eager to learn within the swiftly evolving corporate landscape. Investing in developing workforce skills and capabilities to meet the demands of future business environments is essential. Its adaptability fosters business survival and growth akin to a superpower. Its adaptability fosters business survival and growth akin to superpower. Employees who embrace challenges as opportunities for growth cultivate an environment where continual improvement is the norm. Businesses must invest in enhancing their workforce skills and capabilities to navigate the dynamic business landscape effectively. This entails nurturing creativity, critical thinking, adaptability, and digital literacy among employees, ensuring that their staff are ever ready to tackle the challenges of the business world. In essence, adaptability and a commitment to lifelong learning are pivotal to success in corporate management. The ability to swiftly respond to evolving market conditions and consumer preferences is paramount. Building agile and adaptable organizational structures and fostering a culture of innovation and continuous learning can empower businesses to thrive in dynamic environments. Ladies and gentlemen, the globalization of markets has intensified competition while opening up new opportunities. Businesses can cope not only with local businesses must cope not only with local rivals but also with competitors from across the globe. Understanding global dynamics such as geopolitical shift, trade policies, and cultural nuances is crucial for success on the international stage. Globalization fosters interconnectedness among economies worldwide, necessitating businesses to operate effectively in a global marketplace. This entails comprehending cultural subtleties, regulatory frameworks, and market dynamics in different regions while seizing opportunities for expansion and collaborations across borders. Furthermore, globalization has transformed business operations, presenting both opportunities and challenges. To excel in a globalized world, companies must embrace diversity, foster cross-cultural collaboration, and adeptly navigate geopolitical uncertainties. Finally, identifying and mitigating potential risks, including cybersecurity threats, supply chain disruptions, and geopolitical is imperative. Building resilience into business strategies ensures the ability to withstand shocks and thrive in volatile conditions. In addition, collaboration and partnerships with other organizations, startups, and industry leaders can harness complementary strengths and drive innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, staying ahead of trends is not just a choice but a necessity in today's ever-changing business environment. Tomorrow's successful managers must be well versed in various fields, include from the transformative effects to technologies, from the transformative effects of technologies like AI, blockchain, and automation to the evolving dynamics of remote work and virtual teams, from the growing importance of sustainability and ethics to the power of data-driven decision making. They must foster cultivating a culture of growth and development to lifelong learning, accepting change, embracing technology, upholding ethical standards, and fostering continuous growth are key tenets of future and exercising ethical and sustainable leadership. Businesses can position themselves for long-term success by making data-driven decisions and cultivating a culture of growth and development. Accepting change, embracing technology, upholding ethical standards, and fostering adopt these concepts, guiding the organizations to new heights in an ever-shifting environment. By proactively addressing emerging trends and challenges, businesses can position themselves for success in an increasingly complex and dynamic global landscape. Flexibility, innovation, and a commitment to sustainability will be critical drivers of long-term competitiveness and growth. To conclude my inaugural speech, I am pleased to declare the international seminar theme Navigating the Future, Emerging Trends in Business and Global Dynamics officially open. Thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Special interest groups like NIPM, ISCD, S2S. Sir is also a member diploma committee and faculty of ISCD for the diploma program. Sir is also an additional secretary for the year 2023 to 2025 at NIPM Madras chapter. Sir is also a visiting faculty in various colleges and universities, a member of the MMA and a regular trainer on analytics and technology. Sir is also a great mentor for participation, pro bono mentor for data science, coach in Upgrade. Sir is also the founder and director of ARR Associates. We are happy to have you among us today, sir. Thank you. Now I urge Dr. Bhanukumar sir to enlighten the gathering. Sir? Yeah, I'll be coming. Do you want the laptop? Okay.
Animations then push.
Oh, animation should be put.
As I talk, I wanted to bring it.
Okay.
Maybe that will be difficult. Okay, good morning everyone. Of entrepreneurship, business trends and skills for success. So primarily focusing more in terms of who is an entrepreneur, how is he or she going to be successful. That's where I'm coming into. Move on to the slide. First of all, thanks for giving me this opportunity. Move ahead in terms of the slide, please. Okay, what is entrepreneurship all about? That's the most important factor where we would like to start off with. Basically, entrepreneurship, I'm looking at 5 key factors that comes in. First one is innovation. Basically, what I mean here is entrepreneurs bring in new ideas, new goods and services, process, whatever to the market. Then the second point that I'm talking about is in terms of risk. Entrepreneurs take a lot of risk. Entrepreneurs take a lot of risk because not every time is he or she going to be successful. There are challenges. There are challenges which people will have to live up to. So there are assumed risks, there are risks that are to be managed, there are risks that keeps coming in as we go by, as we grow, which has to be managed. And entrepreneurs also manage resources. I don't mean human resources alone here. Resources on human, IT, in your administrative aspects, anything and everything that comes in terms of it. They might have to mobilize resources, they might have to create new resources, they might have to reorient the resources for deployment depending on the need that they are getting into. So there are a lot of things that they keep moving into. And get back, I did not complete it. Yeah, thanks. So, and most importantly, after doing all this, they just have to provide value to the public. So the biggest thing that comes in is they juggle around on a lot of these things on one side, but on the other side, they also have to provide value. Otherwise, they are not going to be successful in their entrepreneurship. Now, when they provide value and they succeed, they should also be able to grow as the business grows, and it should be scalable. They cannot keep giving the same product again and again, which means the innovation comes in. So the basic point that I'm trying to drive at in terms of it is, being an entrepreneur is not a cakewalk. Guys, being an entrepreneur is not a cakewalk, but what is important is you juggle around a lot of things before you reach here. And if you are a successful entrepreneur, you have done wonders in terms of multitasking, in terms of managing resources, in terms of creating new products, whatever that you are talking about. So keeping all this in mind, what is entrepreneurship? Basically, we are creating, designing, and running a new business venture. For what? For providing a product or a service to the market. Or it could sometimes be process also. Now, basically what goes into entrepreneurship is, first and foremost, I identify a business opportunity. That's the biggest thing. Being an entrepreneur, I need to know there is a business opportunity. Only then I'll start the business. If I do not know if there is a business opportunity or not, starting it off is not going to help, number one. Number two, just because there are too many people doing a particular line of business, we also getting into it may not be successful always. So it needs to be managed very effectively. And once I get it, wait till I tell you, just go back to the slide. So once I identify the business opportunity, you will have to start gathering the resources required for it. It's not going to be straightforward. Okay, here is what I'm going to do. Say, from tomorrow, I'm going to start a coffee shop. That's not what you're going to happen. You will have to start gathering resources, coffee shop. So where is it that you want to do? What are the things that you want to bring up? How do you want to go about? There could be a market research. There could be competitor analysis. There could be a lot of things that you try to work on, and then identify the financial aspects that you're getting into. Thank you. Identify the financial aspects that you're getting into and convert the idea into visible business. So that's the essence in terms of entrepreneurship, which means there is a lot of thing that comes in here, right from identifying the opportunity all the way up to managing a lot of the aspects, risks and everything. This summarizes what I talked about in the previous slide. With that said, I am just getting into, because we are talking about entrepreneurship, it is important that we try to understand what is the nature of business, how has it evolved today. Now, if you really look at it, businesses are different. If I compare the last 3-4 decades of business industry, or whatever you want to call it, the business world, there are quite a bit of changes. What I have tried to do is look at concepts around what are the changes, what is enabling the change, and finally, primarily based on subject matter expertise, it was trading primarily a family business. A lot of what we are talking about in terms of the family business started off there, where the focus was more on what, as a family, we know what is it that we could probably trade. So they were all primarily traders, specialized traders. So there was not much of a competition, but it was more a family business where people were closely knit and then getting done based on their specialities. Later on, it slowly moved in, wherein it's just not subject matter experts, but started getting in some first generation businessmen. So what did they do? All that they said was, I will not focus on what I know, but I will probably focus on what can be done. So if I decide coffee shop can be opened with additional details, I don't have to be the chef there, but I can get somebody there or whatever. So I know what I want, and then I will hire people accordingly. So the traders slowly were started to be termed as entrepreneurs. So it was no longer a specialized skill that we are talking about, but competition started coming in. The competition started coming in, which later evolved into a bigger spectrum, wherein we said, I am not even talking about knowing what I can do or knowing what is to be done, but I'm going to a stage where anyone and everyone can be an entrepreneur. There are student entrepreneurs. There are incubation centers in colleges basically enabling students to become entrepreneurs. Now, all this is coming up because the focus is no longer on what can I do or what can be done, but the focus moves towards what does the customer want. So primary focus moved into what does the customer want. So you had entrepreneurs, you had co-preneurs. I consciously call it co-preneurs in the sense, certain cases these entrepreneurs collaborate, certain cases they compete. So there is a co-opetition, competition, all of it happening. So the business evolved. So today a lot of these things happen based on these angles. So if you really look at it, I'm giving an analogy towards this, wherein I'm trying to give you the examples of Ola, Uber, or the OYOs of the world, or the Amazons and Flipkarts of the world, or Swiggies and all that. What is common in all these cases? Ola, Uber does not necessarily own cars or autos, but they provide it. Or your Swiggy, Zomato, they are not necessarily into restaurant business, though there is this whole company coming up with Swiggy. They are not into restaurant business, but they are providing. Amazon, Flipkart, they don't own any products. Yes, now the Amazon products are coming in, but they don't own the products, but they provide it. And your OYO, Airbnb, they don't really own properties for allowing people to stay, but they are providing it. So basically, if you really look at it, they are all aggregators. That's the model that moves into, where they have a pool of people who provide a set of services and then they start on their own. And they become a separate industry altogether. So that's exactly what I mean by saying businesses have changed in terms of what the customer wants. While COVID did make some changes, but at one point, the car manufacturers realized people are no longer buying cars, basically because they have a chauffeur and a car at their beck and call whenever they need it, thanks to Ola, Uber. So that's how things started moving in. A lot of things changed because of this. So what made it happen? A few reasons for this to happen, if you really look at it, are basically this aggregation was working fine basically because of two aspects. Now, the biggest reason why that happened was technology. The biggest reason why that happened was technology. Now, this wouldn't have been possible if there was no technology. Like, for example, if I take a Uber or an Ola, or a Swiggy or a Zomato or whatever, people invariably are connected to both these. Lot of time, you order in Swiggy, you get a person who's having a Zomato t-shirt on him. So they are combinations. So I won't even know who my employees are. I won't even know where are they, how are they doing things, what is it, who wants what type of information, how good, bad are they. Not any of these is going to be easily visible because I'm on a virtual environment. But that virtual environment got connected into an organization thanks to the technology because they created an app. The app extension was there for the user community versus the employee community. I can connect into Swiggy app so that I can become a delivery boy whenever I want to and I can drop off. That's when a lot of college students and a lot of these day shift people started getting into other night shifts and all that. So people started getting into those kinds of modes where the service provided is based on technology as a backbone. It is not necessarily in terms of the skill and expertise, but it primarily moves on in terms of the technology as a backbone. That's where the biggest differentiator comes in today. The biggest differentiator today is more from the perspective of usage of technology. Like I was talking this morning, basically if you need to be an entrepreneur, you need to understand technology. You don't necessarily have to be a technologist, but you need to understand technology. So that's the first and foremost that happens when you're working on it. There could be other challenges. I just quoted an example to tell you how it was helping us out in terms of the changes. Now, having understood the aggregation model, people are able to work on it whichever way they want and all that, we will probably get into understanding more in terms of entrepreneurship and how they support the economical growth. Business comes in. Now, the state government also looking at investments, global investments. They talked about a lot of these things. A lot of this is evolving towards the economic growth. More the entrepreneurs, better is the economic growth. Now, the primary reason why we call it and how it comes in is something that we will see in this section where I'm trying to tell you what could potentially help in terms of achieving these. Okay, so primarily if you really look at it, the first and foremost, if you really look at entrepreneurship when you're talking about it from an economical angle, the biggest contributor is you create jobs. You are actually generating employment in terms of the mass. If I am an entrepreneur and I recruit 10 people, there is 10 employment that has been created, which could not have happened but for the entrepreneur coming in terms of recruitment. So that is where it starts. Then we are talking about a lot of innovation. I'm introducing new products. Upfront, I did talk about entrepreneurs innovate. So I introduce a lot of new products, services, technologies, and all that. So the industries are evolving with a lot of those info, which also means there is competition. Now, competition is healthy. The more we compete, the better is our product. So competition is also healthy where we are able to achieve what we want to in a better manner and we get better products. So the consumers are better off. They compete, the entrepreneurs compete, which enables the consumers to get the right kind of product at the right time. While on one side we talk about these in terms of how it is enabling from an economy, the other part of the economical thing comes in is the biggest one, which is your economic diversification. Now, what do I mean by that here? You are not dependent on a single sector. You have an automobile sector, you have a construction industry, you have an IT industry. Multiple industry sectors or domains are available, which means even if one goes down, the other is contributing to the growth of the economy, which means we are able to succeed overall from a gross domestic product perspective, and we are not overly dependent on one particular type of an industry. This also means technology advancements. The example that I gave, the Ubers and the Olas and the Amazons and the Flipkarts, but for technology enabling us to get into these things, we wouldn't have achieved it. And to a greater extent, the Dunzos and Zeptos of the world would not have even come into the picture during Corona. So a lot comes in terms of your technology advancement, but all of it finally also comes into the social positioning. We are able to address some of the social challenges or offer more solutions around these aspects because we are innovative in terms of trying to do that. So if you really look at it, there is a lot that we are able to work on in terms of an entrepreneurship development that we are talking about when you are talking about an economic growth as an entrepreneurship, providing it. So ultimately, what we result into is we are actually expanding to new markets. We are promoting new products, innovative products. We are promoting international trade. We are stimulating development. So if you really look at it, the ecosystem is able to attract local and foreign investments, which is enabling us to grow together. So the biggest advantage that comes in is it's a holistic development being an entrepreneur. So you get a holistic development around it. But it's not easy. As I said, being an entrepreneur is not easy. That's where I started off in the beginning. Now, what I'm focusing here is more in terms of the opportunities and the challenges. So what is an entrepreneurial mindset that we are talking about? So one is, if you really look at it from an opportunity perspective, the biggest is technology is enabling the opportunity. We are talking about a lot of things around the technology, which talks about artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchains and all that. Now, what does it mean? Artificial intelligence, I don't necessarily have to have multiple humans for everything. I don't have to worry about the bias and the other things that comes in beyond. So I will still be able to manage a lot of things because I have the intelligence built in, which is going to work the same way, irrespective of the day or the time or the event or whatever it is. So I get into usage, so there is a lot of opportunity. Additionally, if you really look at it from the learning aspects, there are a lot of edtech companies that are moving in today. You're talking about online classrooms, e-learning, we are talking about bite-sized learning. There are a lot of these things that are coming in, so which is enabling. Agri, which is one of the backbones of the Indian earning, if you really look at it, India is highly agriculture oriented, potentially enabling to survive on a lot of things. There are a lot of techs that are coming in from an agri perspective. Now, renewable energy, clean tech, all these are more the current trends in terms of environment, social governance, where we are talking about clean tech is talking about waste management, air quality improvement, water purification, so on and so forth. And on the other extreme, the renewable energy talks about alternate energy like your solar energy, wind energy, so on and so forth. Then there are opportunities on mobility transportation. We are talking about EVs. Electronic vehicles is still not stabilized. There are a lot of other opportunities. And is really lithium battery good enough to manage the environment? Is it safe enough? Is it environment friendly? There are people who are looking at other options wherein it could be even better in terms of environment friendly. So there is a lot of research that is running around it. Autonomous driving, urban mobility solutions. So we are getting into a scenario where there is a lot of mobility related solutions that are happening. And there is also the space tech. You are expanding commercial opportunities, space exploration, space tourism. Somebody wanting to go to Mars, here you go, Moon, we have gone into the other side. Who wants to go to Moon? So there is so much that is coming in, and fintech is on top today. Fintech is on top today. There is so much of it. Be it your GPays or your Razor Pays or whatever are classic examples of fintech companies which have been time tested and is surviving in a lot of cases. And mind you, a lot of these fintech companies are very successful in India compared to any other location and has been feeding a lot for the other foreign countries also. Then obviously our e-commerce, we have been talking about it right from the beginning. I talked about Amazon, I talked about Flipkart, I've talked about Dunzo, I've talked about Swiggy. All these are e-commerce. Anything that you are trying to buy online and get it, that will continue. In fact, Government of India has got a platform enabled exclusively for e-com called the ONDC. So there are a lot of these things that are running around. And last but not the least is healthcare. There are so many advances with the artificial intelligence, machine learning and all those technologies. There is so much that the healthcare industry is undergoing in terms of the change so that they are able to evolve multiple new medicines, biotechs and all that comes in terms of it. So primarily if you look at it, there is no dearth to opportunity. There is so much of opportunity that is available, but it is not straightforward. The challenges that one could get into, if you really look at it, while there are opportunities, there are always two sides to a coin, right? So opportunities will also mean challenges. So the first challenge, if you really look at it, is competition. I did say competition is healthy, but you cannot enter into a market which is already flooded by a lot of people, stabilized. So as entrepreneur, you need to know how to make a decision, pick the right one that you want. Then there are these regulatory requirements, compliance needs, what can be done. When you're working on data, how do you manage some of these data? How can you handle the data security? There are a lot of these regulatory norms. Or when you're having employees, labor-related aspects. Then getting the right talent is not easy. I said we can automate because artificial intelligence and all that, but there is someone who needs to sit and code. I need to get the right kind of people to do that so that we will be able to achieve. Assuming I get all this, there is an investment I need to make, which means I need to get some fund managers, somebody, the venture capitalists that we talk about, the angel investors and others. So not everybody will want something. See, the bigger challenge when you get into fund is a lot of people would not want to try a new sector when you go in as a pioneer, but at the same time, will not want you to enter a sector which is already overloaded with competition. So that's a balance that they expect as VCs, and it's important as entrepreneurs, we need to take that in mind. And then you have a lot of these patent-oriented, technology-oriented aspects that you need to keep in mind when you're working on it, because it should be copy protected, it should not be faked up and all that. So you need to manage that. Having done all that, if the consumer doesn't trust you or if they are not loyal to you, you're again at loss. So it is very important that you need to build on consumer trust and loyalty. That's a bigger challenge. Like, for example, when Titan entered into the gold market, let us say the Tanishq, when they started off Tanishq, the gold market was already flooded in India. Tatas were coming in for the first time as part of Tanishq. So the first thing that they did was, when people are walking in for replacing their jewelry with another gold jewelry, unlike the other shops that were doing, all that they did was, they will melt the gold, validate the carat, and then give you the rates. That's how they started it, which was liked by all. And today, every jewelry shop is doing that. But that was a concept that was started by Titan when they came in with Tanishq. The idea is, somehow I will have to gain the trust of the consumer. I am not entering a field which is new. It's flooded with so many people. So how do I gain the trust? So that is where they started, and that became the norm in the industry over a period of time. So it's really important for you to think differently if you want to be an entrepreneur. And of course, the market is unpredictable. The health industry is unpredictable. There are a lot of those unpredictability that comes in. So you'll have to manage the winds. Again, I will quote the same Tanishq example. You have the normal Tanishq, which is a normal rate. They have the lower end versions of the jewelry that is available as their smaller shops, and the bigger one, the Carat Lane, where they give you the higher end. So you're able to be present everywhere and manage the unpredictability differently. But with a lot of online happening, cybersecurity becomes a threat. What is the data that I can provide? What is it that I cannot provide? For example, you book a ticket in Book My Show for, let us say, Sunday 2 o'clock. Sunday at 12 o'clock, your Google will give you a reminder. You are supposed to travel. Do you want to book a cab? You never even asked Google to do that. You booked on your Book My Show. But that's exactly where we are moving. So how much of data is something that I can provide? I cannot provide. Am I consciously providing, or somebody is already picking my data? These are some of the threats that you need to keep in mind when you're talking about cybersecurity. And the last but not the least is, all this helping you, consumer is behind you, you need to scale up. If you're not able to scale up, you will not be able to succeed. So there are a lot of challenges that you need to manage when you're working on these kinds of situations. So there are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of challenges that comes in. So what is the mindset of an entrepreneur? What is the mindset of an entrepreneur? Very simple, he has to be resilient enough. That is, resilience in the face of failure. Resilience in the face of failure, that's very important. That is, overcoming the setbacks with perseverance. Classic example is Steve Jobs. I do not know how many of you have seen some of Steve Jobs' videos. If you have to learn to say no, learn it from Steve Jobs. A business which was very successful was hived off by Steve Jobs because he felt that's not part of their business goal. Same way, Steve Jobs was ousted out of Apple. Later, he came back, and Apple today is still the leader. It is not easy. That is exactly what we mean by resilience in the face of failure. Similarly, change is the only constant factor, is just not a statement. It happens every day, every minute. So we need to learn to adapt ourselves. Classic example is Reid Hoffman. He started off something called as social net, which was a failure. And Reid Hoffman is the founder of LinkedIn. So the biggest thing that comes in is he adapted to change. People did not want it as a social one where general casual taught, because people had the Facebooks of the world. So he decided to go corporate, built on LinkedIn, and today we know where LinkedIn is all about. Similarly, thinking has to be visionary. You need to have a goal. Being an entrepreneur, thinking has to be visionary. You need to have a goal. You need to innovate beyond limits. Again, all of us are known to Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. But if you really look at it, J.K. Rowling had 12 rejections before Harry Potter came out into the world. Now, if that vision was not very keen on Rowling, we would not have seen Harry Potter today. Lastly, failure is a stepping stone, is something that we all hear about. But the way I'm positioning it is, I embrace failure for growth, which means I nurture failure. Today, industry says fail fast, just like your fast food. We have fail fast. The idea is I don't have to go deep into my spending, but if something is not going to work, let me know it upfront. So I need to embrace failure for growth. I need to view setbacks as learnings. Spanx is a billion-dollar brand from Sarah Blakely, but it had multiple billions of rejections that came in before it actually happened. So what am I driving at? My key takeaway for a successful entrepreneur is exemplify resilience, adaptability, and vision viewing, not as an obstacle, failure not as an obstacle, but as a critical component for the growth. So typically, these are the 4 principles or qualities that an entrepreneurial mindset should necessarily have for being successful. Now, till now I saw how the businesses, we saw in terms of how the businesses has evolved, what it's helping businesses to grow. Then we talked about the opportunities, the challenges around it, and the qualities. Now, what is the trend and impact that we are probably looking at? Now, if you really look at it, the trend is threefold: digitization, globalization, and sustainability. Now, I said technology is something part and parcel. So digitization comes in. I am integrating all the digital tech so that I get a good customer experience. So where am I going towards? I'm leading companies to innovate rapidly. Now, second one is globalization. What am I talking about globalization? Expand beyond domestic markets. Education has moved. You have a tie-up with Inter University where you can go there for success. And if I succeed along with my team of professionals, my economy succeeds, which means I am a change maker. I am a change maker in the economy, which means I need to have a vision, clarity of thought in terms of what I am doing, and that's what I mean by leadership and team management. The third critical skill is more in terms of networking and relationship building. I talked about LinkedIn. All of us network there. Classic cases of networking. Why are education institutions having these kinds of industry interactions? Networking. So everywhere, business growth is only through networking and relationship building. So it's really important that an entrepreneur understands this. The networking could be for asking for mentorship. The networking could be for peer management. Networking could be competition analysis. It could be anything. But the essence is, unless and until I network, I cannot succeed. And last but not the least, I've already talked about it, the resilience and perseverance. This is very, very important for an entrepreneur. So these are the 4 core skills for an entrepreneur. Now, other than these 4 core skills, I also have 4 critical skills. Now, what I mean by critical skills are, these are important, and a failure in one of those skills, that is, if I don't have one of these skills, I might be in the danger of losing my success rate in my entrepreneurship journey. How? The first and foremost is adaptability and flexibility. I have been talking about this adaptability in different terms. Adapt to consumer needs, adapt to changing environment. So everywhere, if you really look at it, I need to adapt myself. So the question is, do I have a vision, or the vision is only to adapt to something? If you're just adapting to something, you become a parasite. But at the same time, you need to learn to adapt and then stand out as a success. So this is exactly what is the key aspect. And for that, you need to be flexible. Then, again, resilience and perseverance comes in here. I am repeating it basically because in this case, I am talking about staying motivated. In this case, I'm talking about staying motivated. Being a self-critic in the earlier slide, but here I'm talking about being a self-motivator. Unless and until I pat myself on the back, I will not be able to get up and then start continuing where I am in terms of the next aspect. Thirdly, continuous learning. This is very critical. Within the compound, whatever you're learning here is only your foundation. When you get into the industry, be it as an employee or as an entrepreneur, you will continue to learn, unlearn. 32 years in the industry, whatever I learned 32 years back, 33 years back is dead and gone. Had I not continuously learned, I wouldn't have been standing here. So it's really important that continuous learning helps you survive. And last but not the least, on the critical skill is your communication. An entrepreneur has to sell. Entrepreneur has to project himself as successful, project himself as to why his business is important. So it's really, really important that he communicates effectively, clearly, and tells people what it is. And the last part of it is, I'm talking about 3 skills which are called as, so I call them as special skills. One is digital literacy. This is something I started off with. Technology is the core for success of a lot of these aggregator line of business. So I'm saying if you are an entrepreneur, it is important that you understand technology. You understand and adapt technology. So you become a digitally literate person. It is just not a bookish, but be a digital literate. Second thing, irrespective of which domain you are into, your financial acumen matters. You need to understand your revenue, your costing, you will have to understand top line, bottom line, profit, these terms, some of these concepts, you must necessarily know. Finance for non-financials is important. Unless you have a financial acumen, you will not be successful as an entrepreneur. And last but not the least, you are an entrepreneur, so you are a brand by yourself. You need to market your brand. Unless and until you recognize your brand, the others are not going to recognize. So these are typically the 11 skills, which I will still say 10 because one of it I repeated. But what I want to reiterate here is very simple. It's a lifelong learning and networking if you are an entrepreneur. One is basically because I need to continuously learn because things are changing. 2, I need to network. Otherwise, I don't have the opportunity. Networking becomes a gateway to opportunity. I might need mentors because I'm new to the environment. There are a lot of entrepreneurship mentors, mentor organizations that are available, which are helping entrepreneurs to succeed. There are multiple divisions of mentorship that happens. TIE Chennai is one example. TIE Young Entrepreneurs is another. You have Young Entrepreneur School. There are quite a lot of things which are already running, and you need to connect if you want to become an entrepreneur. Then engage yourself into the entrepreneurial communities, like some of these what I said, and you form a community, you work on it. Coffee Mug is one example. So you have a lot of those kinds of communities which would help. And lastly, you'll have to proactively engage. Proactive engagement is the key, not in the key, it is the key. Now, all that I mean there is, I need to reach out to potential mentors, potential consumers, potential competitors, because I need to know what the competitor is doing so that I can probably be able to scale up accordingly. So these are some of the things that you need to keep in mind. With that, I will probably bring the session to a closure with a reminder, this is just an information. I have given a lot of things. I've just sown the seeds. It's up to you to water it and grow it into a tree. I will stop here, open for any questions. If at all there was someone who was listening and want to ask a question. If there are no questions, I will give the mic back to the organizers.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights into the fields of navigating the future emerging trends in the international level of business. Your words have definitely thank you for being international owner, for taking out time from your busy schedule and being with you. Thank you, sir.
Check. I request the discipline committees to open the exits. Kindly, all students, leave in an orderly fashion. Last rows first. Last rows leave first and then the front rows. You can go back to your department and your classes. Last rows leave first. Maintain order. Do not hurt yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Girls, you can use that exit as well. It's not an issue. You can use that exit. Dear students, I tell you once again, please watch yourselves while moving out. Do not hurt yourselves.